I am an American soldier. I'm a warrior and a member of a team.
I serve the people of the United States and live the Army values.
I will always place mission first.
I will never accept defeat.
I will never accept defeat.
I will never quit.
I will never leave a fallen comrade.
I am disciplined.
I am disciplined.
Physically and mentally tough.
Trained and proficient in my warrior tasks and drills.
I always maintain my arms, my equipment, and myself.
I am an expert and I am a professional.
I stand ready to deploy, engage, and destroy the
enemies of the United States of America in close combat.
I am a guardian of freedom and the American way of life.
I am an American soldier.
I am an American soldier.
I am an American soldier.
There's strong, and there's Army strong. See what it takes at GoArmy.com.
Sometimes riders feel lost, unsure why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, offering manuscript critiques and line edits through a mentoring editorial style. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services, visit blackwolfeditorial.com.
Hey folks, I want to introduce you to a friend of mine, Dr. Richard Harden. We are on the same mission, which is waking up America. We just have different paths. So stay tuned for some information on how you can keep up with Richard and all his work.
Visit Richard's website at rahardin.com. That's the World Wide Web at rahardin.com. At his website, you can see a summary of the 6 books he has written, where purchases may be made. He also has a link to 18 videos on YouTube and several blogs about Christian beliefs. If you prefer, visit Amazon.com/Kindle and type in Richard Harden to see and purchase his books.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps stand ready to defend the American way of life. The few, the proud, the Marines.
The following message contains a special offer for listeners of this station. Are you a man over 40? Are you constantly looking for the nearest bathroom? Do you wake up multiple times a night to use the bathroom? Right now, Perfect Prostate is sending out free bottles of their groundbreaking new formula to listeners of this station. Perfect Prostate Formula was developed by medical doctor Mitchell Fleischer, and its ingredients have been clinically studied to reduce your frequent nighttime bathroom visits and promote healthy urine flow. Right now, preferred customers get their first bottle of Perfect Prostate absolutely free. There's nothing to lose. Perfect Prostate is guaranteed to reduce that constant urge to use the bathroom, especially at night, and promote healthy urine flow. Don't wait. Call now for your free bottle. Just pay shipping and processing. Dial 1-800-67...
I am an American soldier. I'm a warrior and a member of a team.
I serve the people of the United States and live the Army values.
All right, this is Jessie. How y'all doing out there tonight? I'm going to apologize for the crazy intro. It just seemed to stop playing on me. I have no idea what was up with that, but we're just going to rock and roll with it, okay, guys? All right. There is a lot going on in the world. What, you didn't know that? Are you living under a rock? Well, I don't think my listeners live under rocks, so I'm going to assume you're someone who's well informed. All right. Before I get into my show, I got not one, but 2 shout-outs to do tonight. Oh, yes, I do. And for those of you who are unaware, I am following an awesome person on Twitter by the name of Scott Harvath. Yes, Scott Harvath. Scott Harvath is a retired NYPD sergeant, a 9/11 first responder, and he is battling stage 4 esophageal cancer. And you can find him and follow him on Twitter at SCOTTHARVATH. So, what other news do I have? Well, for those of you who don't know, I came to CPAC. What is Jessie doing at CPAC? No, I'm not going political on you guys. I'm just helping the rest of the team cover the convention, because you need more than one person to cover all these crazy political cats. Host Kitty, what's that? You have an opinion? Seems we're not going to get Host Kitty's opinion quite right now. I will work on getting his opinion pulled together for later. Let's try that again. Nope. It's just, Host Kitty is just not going to work for me tonight. This is going to be interesting, folks. None of my audio's working. Oh, how amusing. We're going to work on pulling that together while I take care of a couple other things. Now, Prince George County Police Department has been out here at CPAC doing the most amazing job. I can't begin to tell you how awesome they've been. Okay, I can't even begin to tell you. Of course Mr. Frog has to get his 2 cents in tonight, doesn't he always? Alright. I've got some audio clips for you guys, don't I always? There was an Operation Inherent Resolve update, and we're going to see if we can get those clips to play ball. Alright, let's try this. I'll give this one shot, and then if I have to, I'll go to a secondary system. You know I've got my ways to make this work. Don't I? You... What, you doubt me? You should know me better than that. So, we're gonna have to use system number 2, but we will make this work. It's gonna take me just a little bit longer to get it pulled up. So, because I gotta make sure you can hear it. Oh, yes, I do. Alright. This was from today's Operation Inherent Resolve briefing. Let's take a listen to how things are going in Syria.
Good morning, all. We'll start in Syria and move on to Iraq. The Syrian Democratic Forces continue their advance along 2 axes north and east of Raqqa. Our SDF partners on the ground have liberated more than 800 square kilometers and more than 100 villages since they began reclaiming and clearing the land to the east of Raqqa on February 4th. We're now seeing signs that ISIS fighters and leaders in Raqqa are beginning to feel the pressure. Specifically, they're becoming increasingly paranoid. They've increased population control measures in Raqqa by seeking to remove or destroy televisions, searching houses for mobile phones and satellite dishes in order to maintain control of news and access to information about their losses. These are not the actions of an enemy who feel they're winning, and that's because they're not. We're seeing reflections of pessimism among mid-level commanders, and this worldview is spreading to the rank-and-file fighters. We're also commonly seeing reports of ISIS arresting and executing their fighters who try to abandon the fight or are suspected of collaborating with forces trying to liberate areas that ISIS controls. We're hearing typical reports that ISIS leaders understand their fate in Raqqa, and they're moving their own families out of Raqqa and into towns and villages in the countryside, even as they detain civilians who attempt to do the same.
Alright, so that's for the latest on Operation Inherent Resolve in Syria. Yes, ISIS is feeling the pressure, or as your show host prefers to call them, Daesh. And why do I call them Daesh instead of ISIS? Because I don't want to give them the recognition of a state, and that is a Middle Eastern acronym, and they happen to hate it. So, this crazy show host is going to stick with it. What, you just noticed I sound a little different tonight? Well, I can tell you why. I am not using my usual audio setup. I am using a substitute setup, so it's just a little bit different, but I got it under control, don't I? Alright, now let's get to what is going on in Iran. And I think I've got that audio clip prepped for you as well. So, let me get to that audio. Like I said, Daesh is feeling the pressure. And I like it. I likes it a lot.
Moving to Iraq. The Iraqi security forces have begun their advance into West Mosul, with the Iraqi Federal Police advancing from the south and the Iraqi Army advancing to their west, further isolating the enemy inside the city. Along the way, the ISF have encountered moderate resistance, which we expect to stiffen as they approach the more densely populated areas. The ISF is moving through ISIS disruption zones, where they encounter indirect fire from ISIS mortars and artillery pieces, and small arms fire from ISIS fighting positions. As of close of business yesterday, the coalition had destroyed 23 mortar and artillery pieces that the enemy would have used to complicate the ISF advance in the first 3 days of operations.
All right, so they are rocking and rolling on the retake of West Mosul. And I've got some show prep on that for you. Oh, but guess what? You're not going to hear it bump on the table tonight, because I'm running around doing all kinds of crazy things. I did my show prep just a little differently tonight, and it's all on the computer. So, we are going to pull up these articles, and we are going to make it work. How's that sound for you? So, Daesh is not a happy camper. No, they're not. They are feeling the pressure. And I'd like to think that is in large part to our United States Armed Forces dropping those bombs and carrying it out. And would you believe they have been taking out terrorists left and right? What, you didn't think we were still taking out the bad guys? Oh yeah. Let me see if I can find that audio, because hearing that list of dead terrorists, that warmed my heart. Oh, yes it did. Alright, let me see if I got that prepped for you.
We used air and artillery.
Whatever. Let's try this one.
In Iraq, Haki Ismail Hamid al-Emri, a Daesh terrorist leader, was killed by a coalition precision airstrike February 13th in Mosul. He's a legacy al-Qaeda Iraq member and had a leadership role in ISIS security network in Mosul, further loosening the grip of ISIS on the population of the city. Al-Emri's death is the most recent of the coalition's steady pressure on Daesh leaders in Mosul. Since the beginning of 2017, our precision airstrikes have also removed Abu Abbas al-Qurayshi, a Daesh terrorist leader who coordinated the movement of VBIDs and suicide bombers in Iraq, and Abdullah Yassin Soleimani al-Jaburi, another Daesh leader responsible for anti-aircraft defense assets within Mosul. Abu Abbas al-Qurayshi, a Daesh terrorist leader, and nearly a dozen of his associates were killed in the same coalition precision airstrike on January 12th in Mosul. The legacy al-Qaeda Iraq operative coordinated and facilitated the movement of VBIDs and suicide bombers around Iraq. He was involved in multiple high-profile and mass casualty attacks, including attacks in Baghdad province, killing innocent civilians.
So that is one bad, nasty terrorist gone. And sounds like a bunch of his associates went with him. And I'm going to say good riddance, guys. Good riddance. Oh yeah, that was not fun. I am glad to see that he is no longer walking the face of this earth and breathing the same air I'm breathing. All right. Also in Iraq, Iraqi forces have regained control of the airport in West Mosul, part of the months-long operation to push Daesh from the city. The airport was largely destroyed by Daesh, and it's now fully under Iraq federal police control. Awesome. Federal police and rapid response forces backed by drones and heavy artillery advanced from several positions to storm the General Lieutenant Raid Shakar said to advance to storm the airport, according to Lieutenant General Raid Shakar Judat. Daesh has held the airport since 2014 and largely destroyed its infrastructure. It is also rumored that the runway has been sabotaged to prevent its use. Now, if you recall, if you're a regular listener to the show, I know you recall, they retook a city overlooking the airport just a few days ago. Well, now they got the airport. So I'd say their plans are actually coming together. Now, that is not the only news. I've got a whole bunch of Turkey and Syria stories, but as I've... Excuse me there, folks. As I have a couple other things to do this evening, I'm going to cut this show just a couple minutes early, so we are going to take a brief commercial break, and I will see you on the other side.
You can lay down if you wanna. You can run away if you wanna. You can't pretend that.
And it seems my commercial ad roll is not working. Let's see what we can do to fix that. I have no idea why, but my ad roll isn't working, so we're going to try another one. How about that for some apples?
You can play dead if you wanna. Forget what they said if you wanna. Turn your back on the country.
Alright, give me just a moment, see if I can find another ad roll, because mine just doesn't want to play ball tonight. And I do not know what is up with this audio system. It is being cranky. Maybe a liberal got a hold of it, folks. Maybe a liberal.
All writers are prone to becoming so attached to our characters and stories that we struggle to see why a passage may not be
No,
true.
it seems
It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing.
Hang on, you're not off the hook. You know I've got other sources for all this stuff, don't you? Well, you better have that figured out by now.
Editing services are provided for all genres and all age categories.
Oh yeah,
Services range from
let me find it.
story through to line edits on full-length novels. We also offer assistance on generating writer's bios for your website.
Alright, now we are going to take that planned commercial break, and I will see you on the other
Black
side.
Wolf Editorial Services. Nurturing writing.
If you wanna, you can pretend that this is totally okay. If you wanna, you can play dead if you wanna. Forget what they say if you wanna. Turn your back on the country needing you right now. But I don't wanna.
In these
these uncertain economic times, you've got to do whatever you can to save money. One of our biggest expenses can be our cars, especially when unexpected repair bills hit. Not anymore. If you own a vehicle with less than 130,000 miles, is less than 12 years old, has a warranty about to expire, or even no warranty at all, you could stop paying for car repairs. Roadside assistance, towing, and rental coverage are all included. Don't wait for the next repair. Make one free call right now to see if you qualify. If your vehicle is less than 12 years old, has less than 130,000 miles, even if it's out of warranty, paying for car repairs can become a thing of the past. Call us right now and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Get protection and no more repair bills. Call 800-696-1030. Again, 800-696-1030. That's 800-696-1030. 800-696-1030.
We take care of the rest. We calculate the correct taxes, manage payments and direct deposits. We even send out your checks. Payroll doesn't need to be a four-letter word anymore. We're so sure that we can save you time and money that we'll give you a month's payroll free. Just for calling 877-757-2782. Get 1 month's payroll for free. Call Paychecks right now. 877-757-2782. That's 877-757-2782.
Line edits on full-length novels. We also offer assistance on generating writer's bios for your websites. We won't abandon you to the masses. We want to celebrate with you in your successes. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services and prices, visit us at blackwolfeditorial.com.
I've owned my company for 14 years now, and I can tell you that payroll is a four-letter word. I hate doing it. It eats up hours I don't have, and it costs me money I could be saving. My accountant's too expensive, and I'm not sure who to call, but I know I need help.
We're Paychecks, and we take all the hassles out of small business payroll. We save you time and money. It's easy. Call, fax, or give us your payroll information securely online, and we take care of the rest. We calculate the correct taxes, manage payments and direct deposits. We even send out your checks. Payroll doesn't need to be a four-letter word anymore. We're so sure that we can save you time and money that we'll give you a month's payroll free. Just for calling 877-757-2782. Get 1 month's payroll for free. Call Paychecks right now. 877-757-2782. That's 877-757-2782.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Thank you for hanging in there with me while we paid them bills. Now, we are going to move on, just slightly different part of the world here. We are going to go to Syria. Oh, yes, Syria. There's been a lot of developments on Syria in the past couple of days. You hadn't heard? Now, this isn't the Operation Inherent Resolve update. We already know what's going on there. We've already heard all about that. The big story on Syria, at least the big one that caught this show host's attention, Turkey finalized a deal with Russia. Yes, Turkey is finalizing agreement with the Kremlin to procure Russian-made S-400 missile defense systems. Reportedly, the two countries have been in negotiations since August 2016, and that was according to reports on the TASS news agency, which we all know is Russia's talking head. Come on, get over it. Turkey's defense minister leadership said the goal is the purchase is to fill the country's missile defense needs while its own contractors work to produce a domestic solution. Turkey certainly needs a missile defense system and started a program with the aim of developing their domestically produced system. According to Turkish Defense Minister Fariki Isik, this program takes time, thus we have held negotiations with different countries to fulfill Turkey's urgent requirement, and it seems as though Russia is the most suitable candidate for fulfilling the country's needs at the moment. Turkey's government has expressed interest in buying the S-400 since 2013 when it initially approached China. Officials were forced to cancel the deal, however, in 2015 in response to NATO's disapproval. The S-400 missile system is an anti-aircraft solution developed by Russia's Almaz Control Design Bureau to replace the aging S-300 platforms. The weapon is capable of firing several missile variants, including long-range, medium-range, and short-range munitions. So we will have to see how this plays out. Alright, pull out your serious scorecards. What? You don't have them? Well, let's get them out. Alright, get out that serious scorecard. Alright, here's the deal. Syria. As you all know, if you're a regular listener to this show, Syria has been being propped up by Russia. Let's talk Russia for a minute. Russia has now brought S-400s to Syria, sold them to Iran, and now they're going to sell them to Turkey. Now, who does Iran trade with, especially in terms of missile technology? North Korea. Who's North Korea's big brother? China. Who did Turkey originally want to purchase missiles from? China. You get the picture here, folks. Now, back to Turkey and Iraq. Turkish-backed rebels seized the Syrian town of Al-Bab. Al-Bab is one of those towns, it's such a border region, I'm never quite sure what country it's in, so you're going to have to pardon me, folks. Turkish-backed rebels seized the Syrian town of Al-Bab from Daesh, ending a grinding offensive to push the extremist group from one of its final strongholds. Launched in August, the operation has proved unexpectedly long and bloody, forcing Turkey to triple its original deployment amid dozens of combat deaths and hundreds of civilian casualties. This drives an added wedge between Turkey and the United States, and if you recall, or if you do not recall, we are using a Turkish military base to bomb Daesh. What, you didn't know that? Guess what? We are. Wake up. Smell the coffee, folks. Crawl out from under those rocks you live under if you didn't know that. Ankara views Kurdish fighters that the U.S. is working with as terrorists, and it hopes to thwart Kurdish hopes of establishing an autonomous zone along the Syria-Turkish border by preventing Kurds from linking up territory east and west of Al-Bab. Now, the Free Syrian Army, a loose coalition of Syrian Arabs and Turkmen, has been attacking Al-Bab since December, aided by Turkish warplanes. Note, it was not coalition forces, it was Turkish forces, tanks and special forces. Thursday evening, the Britain-based Syrian Observatory for Human Rights Monitoring said the rebels had full control of the town. So, this is going to be interesting. So, thankfully, Daesh has lost more than a quarter of its territory to U.S.-backed forces over the past year, and the areas left behind are often damaged in the fighting, and militants routinely booby-trap buildings. So it's going to be interesting. There were an estimated 100,000 people in Al-Bab when Daesh took over. Today, that figure is believed to stand in the low thousands. However, no one has been able to conduct an accurate assessment. That's quite a bit of chaos. Now, also in Syria, the bodies of some 130 fighters shot execution style or beheaded by rival jihadists have been found in mass graves in northwestern Syria. The grim discovery comes 1 week after clashes in Idlib. Yes, I said Idlib. Now, for those of you who have been paying attention, remember Aleppo? You remember Aleppo. How many times did we talk about Aleppo on this show? A lot of the people from Aleppo went where? To Idlib. Yes. So there were at least 131 bodies found on Wednesday and Thursday in 2 separate mass graves in the town of Khan Sakum. And this is according to the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights. Last week they found 41 bodies. So this has been a bloody fight. There were 3 citizen journalists and 11 commanders among the bodies. A source from Civil Defense reported that 128 bodies had been recovered from 2 graves inside a former army barracks that had been occupied by Jund al-Aqsa. Jund al-Aqsa is considered close to Daesh, is reviled by most rebels in the region and designated a terrorist group by Washington, D.C. Well, maybe Washington can make heads or tails out of something and do it the right way. Got to give them credit for that. They're claiming it's a terrorist group, and I believe so, especially if they support Daesh. Earlier this month, Jund al-Aqsa had been locked in clashes with Fatah al-Sham, the former al-Qaeda affiliate, in Syria after tensions over influence in Idlib came to a head. Alright, folks, just a couple more stories to bring to your attention, and then I gotta get up out of here because guess what? I have got to get another show prepped. Jen and I are going to do our darndest to do the Jen and Rick show tonight, especially and knowing that I'm going to have to reset some audio configurations before I do this, I had best get on up out of here just a few minutes ahead of schedule. And let's just hope all the wizarding gods connect for me tonight. Alright, moving right along. Got 1 or 2 more articles. What, you thought I was done? You haven't been listening long, have you? We haven't mentioned the words South China Sea or North Korea, so I gotta touch on those before I get out of here. Alright, Beijing cements the South China Sea land grab with missile defense sites. Oh yes, remember those fake islands that China built in the South China Sea out of nothing just by dredging? Well, guess what? They said we're not going to militarize it, Well, now those islands have military bases, runways, and now air defense systems. Give me a break, China. Your word isn't worth anything. Now, Indonesia has raised the prospects of joint patrols with Australia in the South China Sea. Indonesian President Joko Widodo discussed the prospect of joint patrols with Australia in the South China Sea when he is meeting with his counterpart, Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull, this weekend. Widodo told Australia that he would like to see joint patrols, but only if they did not further inflame tensions with China. Indonesia has traditionally taken a neutral position on the South China Sea, acting as a buffer between China and fellow members of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations that have the most at stake, aka the Philippines and Vietnam. China, of course, as we know, is a greedy particular international host. They claim the entire South China Sea, through which 5 trillion worth of trade passes each year. Brunei, Malaysia, Philippines, and Taiwan and Vietnam also have claims to parts of the South China Sea. And you will have to pardon the noise from down the row on broadcast row. It seems we got some people having a party in here. China claims almost the entire South China Sea, through which $5 trillion worth of trade passes each year. Australia takes no sides but disputes in the South China Sea dispute, but has supported U.S.-led freedom of navigation activities in the region. And Australia has been seeking to repair ties with Indonesia after the recent spat. Indonesia suspended military cooperation with Australia, in case you are wondering, in January, after quote-unquote insulting teaching materials were found at an Australian base. I told you we couldn't go a show without South China Sea. And the latest on Kim Jong-nam. So how have you guys been doing? Now, I have an article, and I have not been able to validate. That's 2 sources. Give me a second. 3. Okay, I've got enough sources to make it to where I will read it to you and not say it is unconfirmed. Give me just a moment to get it all sorted out. Now, let's start with the easy one. North Korea finally acknowledges that Kim Jong-nam is dead. Now that is a step in the right direction. However, the North Korea state-run news agency slammed Malaysia on Thursday, saying its investigation into the assassination of the estranged brother of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un is full of holes and contradictions. It was the North's first reference to the death of Kim Jong-nam following apparent poisoning at Kuala Lumpur Airport on February 13th. Now, that's not the breaking news part. This just came out while I was on air. Kim Jong-nam, the half-brother of North Korea's leader, was killed by a highly toxic nerve agent. Now, I know you guys may not be up on your nerve agents, but Malaysian police say a preliminary report shows the murder of Kim Jong-nam, the half-brother of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, was carried out with a nerve agent used in chemical warfare. VX, the nerve agent, or S2 I'm not even going to pronounce this one. VX is a chemical weapon classified as a weapon of mass destruction by the United States. Kim, the estranged half-brother of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, died after 2 women attacked him at Kuala Lumpur as he was boarding his flight to Macau. Now, what I know about VX, and I do know just a little bit, so we're going to talk about it. I'm going to basically say he was sprayed in the face. And once you've got it in your body, especially in high concentration, folks, you got about 10 minutes before it is lights out forever. That stuff is vicious. That stuff is nothing to fool around with. It is man-made, and its only use is as a chemical weapon. Unlike other things such as chlorine, which are multi-purpose but can be weaponized, VX is a weapon, straight and simple. All right, folks. I love you. It's been awesome, but I gotta see which ones of these audio issues I can get on out of here before I have another show. So we are going to rock on out of here, and guess what, folks? I will see you next time. And on that note, I'm out of here!